Hello, and welcome to A Day in My Life in Dedicated. Dedicated is the period of time that you get in medical school, usually between your second and third year before you start your clinical rotations, that's designed to be there solely for you to prepare for your medical licensing exam, or as we call it, boards. So I go to an osteopathic school, so I'm going to be taking both the comlex, which is the DO certifying exam, and then the USMLE Step 1 exam, which is designed for the MD degree. So I wake up around 10 a.m. That's usually when I feel the most rested. I know a lot of people tend to wake up earlier and dedicated and start their day at like 6 in the morning, but eventually I will be transitioning to waking up earlier and earlier because the exam itself is at 8 in the morning. But as of right now, as we're early and dedicated, I kind of wake up when I feel best. So I start the day, start by getting ready, start by making my coffee. I usually drink instant coffee because I like how quickly I can make it and I don't mind the taste like a lot of people do. And then I head over to my room to get started. I've been going to school to study a lot, but I've actually found myself studying a lot more in my room for the boards just because I like the kind of peace and quiet of my room. So I started studying around 11 a.m., and I'm actually just getting through some of the logistical stuff. There's a lot of things that we have to take care of prior to clinical rotation starting in July, like background checks, and so I'm trying to figure all of that out. So around 12:30, I was finished, and then I headed over to make myself basically breakfast, but I usually only have coffee for breakfast, and then when I get hungry, I make myself a little snack. So I had some cottage cheese with blueberries, and then I started working on my Anki. Usually I try to do about 600 Anki cards. That's how I planned for it, but because I've been getting a lot of cards wrong, and I'm adding cards from the new Pathoma chapters that I'm watching, I've actually been doing about 1,000 Anki cards a day, which is a lot for me, so I'm kind of getting burnt out from doing Anki, and it's taking a lot of time to get through during the day. And at 2 p.m., I decided to go take advantage of the sun. It's been getting a lot warmer here in Maine, so I wanted to get an hour in of just being in the sun and the warmth and getting some vitamin D. At 3 p.m., I came back, got myself a little snack, and started working on the UWorld question bank. I did not do enough questions today, but I always do my best to get at least 40 to 60 questions a day. I also have the Comlex bank, so I get a lot of OMM questions. So I was here reviewing the posterior cervical points. At 5 p.m., I was done, and I went and unsuspended the Anki cards for the questions that I got wrong for me to do later. At 6 p.m., my friend picked me up and took me to the dog park, which was really nice and a nice boost of serotonin. And when I came back at 7, I started making dinner. This is like the typical chicken curry mix that I make, and I put a ton of leafy greens on top because this is how I get my vegetables. I also made a smoothie just to use up some of the fruits that I have, and this is a great way for me to also get my fruits in. And then I took this back to my room to finish a couple more emails that I had to send and just finish up the logistical stuff for the day. And then at 7:30, I started grinding my Anki cards again because, like I said, it takes me forever. Ate some dinner, and at 8:30 p.m., I headed over to my friend's place. It is Friday night, so it's important to do something fun apart from school. So we watched Oppenheimer and just hung out. And I do admit I was doing Anki during the movie because I just had so many cards to get through. At 1 a.m., I finally got back home and I made my Anki um, restart time 2 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. like it normally is. So I just tried to bang out as many cards as I could before it restarted at 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m., when it did restart, I was done for the day. I did about 1,100 cards, and then I started getting ready for bed. This wasn't one of my most productive days, but I try not to be too hard on myself. As long as I'm learning something new and I'm moving forward in my board studying progress, I should be okay. So it's around 2:30 and this is when I head to bed.